Article 232. Disobedience to order of superior officer when said order was suspended by inferior officer. Article 232. Penalize a public officer who defies the authority of a superior officer by willful disobeying an order. This occurs when a public officer suspends execution of superior's disapproves the suspension and the officer still refuses to comply. Disobedience must be open and repeated, reflecting insubordination that undermines public discipline and service. Article 233. Refusal of assistance. Article 233. Punish a public officer who maliciously refuses to provide assistance when lawful required by a component, authority, and matters related to justice or public service. The assistance must be within the scope of the officer's duty. Actual damage to public interest or third parties is necessary for the crime to be committed, with greater penalties if the damage is seriously.
Article 234. Refusal to discharge elective office. Legal basis. Article 234. Revised Penal Code of the Philippines. This article penalizes any person elected by popular vote to a public office who refuses to take an oath of office or to perform the functions of the position without legal justification. So, Article 234 usually refers to a constitutional or legal provision dealing with elected officials. However, which constitution or law you're asking about matters. Okay, so for example, Indian Constitution, Nigerian Constitution, a specific organization charter, etc. Now that they mention refusal to discharge elective office, I'll explain it generally first. Then you can tell me if you mean a specific law. An elective office is a position someone gets by winning an election. For example, mayor, president, legislator, and etc. Refusal to discharge means the person elected refuses to perform the duties required by that office. This Article 234, where it appears in some legal systems, typically provides that if someone who has been elected refuses to perform their duties without good cause, they can be removed from that office through a defined process, like impeachment, a recall election, a special court proceeding, and etc. In short, Article 234 says, if you are elected but you don't do your job, either by neglect, refusal, or failure, you can be legally kicked out of office. There is something explanation that could include a mayor who never attends council meetings or signs necessary documents, a legislator who refuses to take the oath of office, an official who after election just refuses to perform duties but doesn't resign. Article 235. Maltreatment of prisoner. 1. Legal provision. Article 235 of the Revised Penal Code penalizes any public officer or employee who has custody of a prisoner or detention prisoner and maltreats such prisoner. This law aims to protect individuals deprived of liberty from abuse by authorities. 2. Elements of the crime to constitute a violation of Article 235. The following elements must be present. 1. The offender is a public officer or employee. 2. He has under his charge a prisoner or detention prisoner. 3. he maltreats such prisoner in either of the following ways: by overdoing correction or handling, specifically imposing punishment not authorized by regulations, or inflicting authorized punishment in cruel or humiliating manner, by maltreating the prisoner to extort a confession or obtain information. Number 3. Rule on maltreatment with physically injuries. If a public officer who has actual custody of a prisoner inflicts by physical injuries, two separate crimes are committed: maltreatment of prisoners under Article 235 and physical injuries under the appropriate provision. These two cannot be complex because Article 235 specifically provides that its penalty is in addition to liability for physical injuries or damage caused. Number 4. Scope of maltreatment as emphasizes by Boado, 2008. The term maltreatment includes physical, moral, psychological, and other forms of abuse. This interpretation arises from the use of the phrases physical injuries or damage caused and cruel or humiliating manner. Rule number 5. 5. Rule when the victim is not yet a convict or detention prisoner. If the person maltreated is not yet a convict or detention prisoner, different crimes may apply. Coercion. If maltreated to extort a confession and the person has not yet been confined in a jail. Physical injuries. If the person has been arrested but not yet booked or jailed. Number 6. Article 235 provides crucial legal safeguards for individuals in custody, recognizing the vulnerable position of prisoner and ensuring that public officers are held accountable for any form of abuse, whether physical or psychological. It reflects the principle that even persons deprived of liberty retain their basic human rights. Alright, so this one is similar to before. Article 235 could mean different things depending on the legal system, like countries, constitution, and military law, and etc. But from the way you phrase it, maltreatment of prisoners, it sounds like you're asking about a law or article that prohibits that mistreatment or abuse of prisoner. Okay, so let me give you a general explanation first. Maltreatment of prisoners means abusing, harming, humiliating, or neglecting individuals who are detained, whether they are prisoners of war, criminal convicts, or just arrested individuals. Article 235, where it exists, typically makes it illegal for prisoner staff, military officers, police, or any authority to mistreat people in custody. It usually requires that prisoners be treated with dignity and according to law, no matter what they cause, what they are accused of. Punishment for violating such an article could include court-martial if military, dismissal from office, criminal charges, assault, abuse of human rights, civil lawsuits for damage. Example behaviors that Article 235 might forbid: beating or torturing prisoners, denying food, water, or medical treatment, forcing prisoners to do degrading or humiliating acts, unlawfully punishing prisoners like solitary confinement without cause, sexual abuse, something like that. In 235, in Article 235, very important, maltreatment is often considered a serious crime because prisoners are vulnerable and depend fully on authorities to treat them fairly. International law like the Geneva Convention also has strict rules about how prisoners must be treated, especially prisoners of war.
Article 236 Anticipation of Duties of a Public Office. Anticipation of duties of a public office ay may apat na elements. Number 1, that the offender is entitled to hold the public office or employment either by the election or appointment. Number 2, the law required that he should be first sworn or he should be first give a bond. Number 3, he is shown to perform of the duties and power of such office. And number 4, he shall not take oath of office or give the bond required by the law. Example na lang dito, kung nag-apply ka sa mga PNP, BFP o BGMP, di daw sapat na kahit may appointment papers ka o may authorize ka na para gawin ang iyong trabaho. O kaka-receive mo pa lang ng iyong appointment papers ay nagtrabaho ka na, pwede kang maging liable dito sa Article 236 pag ginawa mo yun. Dapat daw mag-take out ka muna bago ka magtrabaho. Yung take out pala, ito yung manumpa ka muna bago ka magtrabaho. Yung band naman ay hindi daw lahat required. Mostly binibigay ito sa mga may matataas na posisyon o yung mga nag-handle ng pera o property ng ating bansa. Gaya na lang ng chief ng ating bansa, regional director ng mga government agencies. Kasi signatory sila ng mga cheque or mga expenses ng mga office nila. So, dapat mabayadan muna ito bago perform ang isang public officer ng duties niya. So, ayun lang. 237. Prolonging performance of duties and power. Ang prolonging performance of duties and power ay may tatlong elements. Number 1, that the offender is holding a public office. Number 2, the period allowed by the law for him to exercise such as function or duties has been already expired. And number 3, that the offender continues to exercise such as and duties. The office contemplated by the article those who have not been suspended, separated, and declared over age or dismissed. Under the civil service rules, ang mandatory retirement ay 65. So, kung 65 ka na, retired ka na dapat at di ka na pwedeng bumalik sa office mo. At kung uniform personnel ka naman, 56 ang compulsory retirement. At the age of 56, dapat wala ka na dapat sa serbisyo mo. Kung ang appointment mo naman ay temporary, pag nag-expired na yon period mo, di ka na pwede allowed na gawin ang function mo. Sa continuous naman, ang appointment authority ay dapat wala ka na rin doon. Ang coterminous, ito yung kung saan natapos na talaga ang serbisyo mo, ay dapat tanggal ka na sa pwesto mo. Example na lang sa mga president. Pag natapos na ang termino nila, pwede na tayo na naman mag-elect ng bagong president o mayor sa mga mayor na pwedeng balitan. So, yun lang yun.
Article 2 abandonment of office or position. 1. Legal position. Article 2 of the Revised Penal Code penalizes a public officer who, without having acceptance of his resignation, abandons his office of the determined of public service. Maritime detained elements to be held liable under Article 2.3. The following elements must be present. 1. The offender is a public officer. 2. He formally resigned from his office. 3. His resignation has not yet been accepted, for he abandoned his office and this result in harm or detriment to the public service. So, nitong crime na to, nagawa ng public office ng gustong mag-resign. So, nag-submit siya ng formal resign. Yung resignation niya hindi tinanggap, pero inabandon niya ang kanyang trabaho. Yeah, so, yung material dito yung acceptance. So, inaccept naman talaga ng resignation dahil kung hindi maaaring involuntary service yun dito, kailangan hintayin yung acceptance para hindi mo nagawin ang trabaho mo. So, meron tayo dito yung circumstances offense. Meron tayo dito yung mga reasons, conspiracy, and proposal to commit treason, misprision of treasons, espionage, inciting to war or giving motives for reprisal, violation of neutrality, rebellion, competence, disloyalty of public officer, inciting to rebellion, sedition. Kung ang purpose ng pag-resign mo ay to evade yung discharge ng duty mo to prevent, prosecute, or punish yung mga crimes na nabanggit, ang penalty mo ay mas mataas kumpara nag-resign lang na hindi hinintay yung acceptance. So, next tayo ngayon dito sa Article 239. Usurpation of legislative powers. One legal provision. Article 239 of the Revised Penal Code punishes executive or judicial officers usurpation the functions of the legislative branch by performing actions that are exclusively within the authority of Congress or legislative bodies. So, meron tayo dito yung Article 229 elements of the crimes. To constitute the crime of usurpation of legislative powers, the following elements must be established. 1. The offender is an executive or judicial officer. 2. The offender performs any of the following acts makes general rules or regulations beyond the scope of his legal authority, attempts to repeal an existing laws, suspend the execution of all proper legislative authorization. So, yung ang aking tatlo na nabanggit, trabaho po ito ng legislative na nagagawa ng ating batas or ang ating ordinance in a local level. Hindi po ito trabaho ng executive or judicial officer. For example, si Mayor enacted an administrative order prohibiting the drying of palays in the main roads of municipality. Si Mayor dito nilabag ng ating Article 239. Itong provision na ito dapat nakasaad bilang isang ordinansa at hindi lang basta na administrative order. Ang administrative order, isang order na tumutukoy sa pangasiwa sa office niya. Sa mayor, ang trabaho po na nasa executive department of the government kagaya ni mayor ay to execute and implement the laws and not to make them. And so all, and thank you pa.
Article 240. Usurpation of executive functions. Article 240 of the Revised Penal Code penalizes a judge who interferes with or assumes powers that are exclusively vested in the executive branch of the government. There are only two elements under the Article 240 of usurpation of executive function. Number 1. The offender is a judge, assumes the authority or power that is exclusively vested in executive officials. Number 2. Or the judge either obstructs the executive authorities from lawfully performing their official functions. When a judge usurps executive functions or prevents the executive from doing its job, it disrupts the check and balance of the government. Such actions can lead to confusion, inefficiency, or even abuses of power, and therefore are subject to criminal sanction. Article 240 serves as a safeguard to maintain institutional boundaries between the judiciary and the executive. It ensures that that judges focus on their judicial responsibilities and do not interfere with executive duties, preserving the integrity and balance of government functions. Article 241, Usurpation of the Judicial Functions. Article 241 penalizes an executive official who unlawfully performs functions reserved for the judiciary or interferes with the execution of a judicial order. There are only two again in under Article 241, usurpation of judicial functions. Number 1. The offender holds a position in the executive branch of the government, assumes judicial powers, rendering decisions, issuing judgment, etc. Number 2. Or the offender either obstruct the implementation of a court order issued by a judge acting with his jurisdiction. This article ensures that executive officers do not interfere with the judicial process. Judicial functions such as interpreting the law, deciding cases, or issuing court orders are reserved solely for the judiciary, and interventions by an executive officer is considered an abuse of power.
Article 242. Disobeying request of disqualification. Article 242 punishes a public officer who continues a proceeding despite being lawfully required to refrain due to a pending question of jurisdiction or disqualification. Elements 1. The offender is public officer. A proceeding is pending before him. 3. A question on his jurisdiction has been raised before the proper authority and is yet unresolved. 4. He has been lawfully required to suspend the proceeding. 5. He continues the proceeding despite the order to refrain. To protect the fairness of judicial and administrative proceedings by ensuring that public officers respect lawful disqualification or jurisdictional challenge. Dito, imagine a judge or another government official is handling a case. Now, someone raises a serious question about whether this official even has the right or authority to be involved in the specific case. Maybe there's a conflict of interest or they lack the proper jurisdiction. Kung ang official na iyon ay sinasabihan na huminto muna sa paghawak ng kaso dahil iniimbestigahan pa ang mga tao na ito, pero hindi siya nakinig at patuloy pa rin siya sa pagproseso nito. Ayon sa Article 242, maaari siyang maparusahan parang yung ganito. Mayroong pagdududa kung dapat bang hawakan ang opisyal na ang kaso. Utos, sinasabihan siyang huminto muna habang inaalam pa ang sagot sa pagdududa. Doon sa paglabag, hindi siya sumunod or patuloy pa rin sa ginagawa niya. Doon sa resulta, sa Article 242, maaari siyang makatanggap ng parusa dahil hindi niya sinunod ang proseso. Ang buong layunin ng batas na ito ay para siguraduhin na patas lahat at nirerespeto ng mga opisyal ang mga patakaran kapag mayroon seryosong tanong tungkol sa kanilang kakayahan na humawak ng isang kaso. Mahalaga ito para mapanatili ang integridad ng mga legal at opisyal na proseso. Article 243. Order or request by executive officers to any judicial authority. Article 43 penalize an executive officers who improperly interferes with the judiciary by making orders or suggestion about matters exclusively under judicial jurisdiction. Elements: 1. The offender is an executive officer. 2. He addresses an order or suggestion to a judicial authority. 3. The order or suggestion involves a case or matter that is within the exclusive jurisdiction of the courts. To preserve the independence of the judiciary and uphold the separation of powers by prohibiting any form of pressure or interference from executive officials in judicial matters. Sabi dito, this law says that government officials like mayors or police chief can boss around judge or tell them how to decide case that are only for the courts to handle. Parang dito, sinasabi na ang school principal hindi niya pwedeng sabihin sa math teacher na kung paano niya graduhan ang estudyante sa kanyang test dahil ang teacher ay trabaho niya ng mag-isa yon. This law is there makes to sure judge can make fair decisions without being pressured by the government. The government and the courts have their own separate jobs and don't interfere with each other. So if a government official tries to tell a judge what to do in a court case, they could get trouble because of this law. This Article 243 of a legal code which details with orders or requests by executive officers to any judicial authority, sinasabi na this article penalize an executive officer who improperly interferes with the judiciary, the courts, by issuing orders or suggestion about cases or matters that are exclusively under the jurisdiction of the courts. Dito sa the offender is an executive officer, this means the person committing the violation must hold a position in the executive branch of the government. Parang yung mga member of the cabinet, a governor, a mayor, a police chief, tapos mga iba pa. He addressed an order or suggestion to a judicial authority. This refers to any communication directed towards a judge, court, or their judicial body. The order or suggestion involves a case or matter that is within the exclusive jurisdiction of the courts. The interference is only penalized if it concerns something that courts alone have the power to decide.
Article 244, Unlawful Appointment Elements. Ito yung nilalaman ng Article 244, penalize a public officer who knowingly appoints nominate a person to a public officer, despite the appointee lacking the legal qualification required for the position. The law ensures that only legally qualified individuals are appointed to public office, promoting integrity and competence in government service. Article 245, Abuse Against Chastity Elements. Ito yung mga nilalaman ng Article 245. 245, punish public officers who abuse their positions and authority to make immoral advance toward women who are either under their custody or development on them for official decisions.